Close your eyes for a moment. Still your thoughts. For if you are hearing these words, if they have found you, then something magnificent is already unfolding. You are not here by mistake. You were drawn here, not by chance, but by the deeper intelligence within you, by the unseen law that responds unfailingly to your state of being. In the very moment you entertain the idea of wealth, not as a fantasy, but as a possibility, the seed was planted. And now, as you listen, that seed is being watered. Do not concern yourself with how. Do not seek signs in the external world. The world reflects you. It does not guide you. What you see right now may be humble, limited, or lacking, but that is only the shadow of an old state. You are no longer that person. You have shifted. There is no effort in becoming what you already are. Begin to assume it, quietly, faithfully, joyfully. Walk as if you are already the one who has everything. Feel the freedom, taste the ease, sit in the stillness of abundance. This is not pretending. This is the secret. To dwell in the end, to think from the place you wish to be, not toward it. The rich version of you already exists. There is no need to chase. You need only merge with it, by thought, by feeling, by unwavering faith. You have always had this power. No one gave it to you. You were born with it, and now you remember. Wealth is not a reward, it is a state. You don't earn it, you embody it. The riches you desire are simply echoes of the rich state you occupy. If you claim it and persist in it, nothing can keep it from you. Let the world call it magic, let others doubt, but you will know. Because as you hear this, you feel it. Something within you has clicked. And once it does, reality must follow. So now, walk as the rich one, speak as the rich one, think as the rich one, for you are not becoming rich. You are rich. And the world is just catching up. Nothing appears in your world by accident. Every encounter, every moment, every message you receive is a reflection of the deeper movement taking place within your consciousness. If you're seeing this now, it's not random. It is a precise and perfect response to the silent shift that has already occurred in you. Long before this message reached your screen, a quiet decision was made in your inner world. A decision to rise, to change, to receive more. And life, being the mirror that it is, has responded in kind. You are not separate from the life you live. Your world is not happening to you, it is flowing from you. There is a power within you that operates far beyond logic, beyond effort, beyond the physical senses. It is the creative force that brings all things into being. And this power responds not to your words or wishes, but to your inner knowing. When you began to entertain the idea that more is possible for you, not just as a hope, but as a quiet certainty, the universe moved. You may not have seen the shift. It might have happened in a moment of stillness, in a passing thought you barely noticed. But something in you changed. You stopped identifying with lack. You stopped telling the story of, I can't, and it's not for me. You may not have said it out loud, but your soul whispered it. I am ready. And now, here you are, reading this, hearing this confirmation that wealth is on its way. Not because you begged for it, not because you struggled for it, but because you aligned with it. You must understand, wealth is not something to chase. It is something to recognize. It exists first within your state of being. It is felt before it is seen. The moment you decided you were no longer available for lack, the current began to shift. The tide turned in your favor. And you didn't need to push. You didn't need to force. You simply needed to allow the truth to rise within you, the truth that you are the source, that you are worthy, that you are enough. This moment, this message, is not the beginning, it is the evidence. It is the echo of your own inner transformation returning to you in a form you can see and hear. Take it seriously, not because these words are magic, but because you are. You have called this to you. You have reached a point in your journey where wealth is no longer a distant dream. It is your next natural step. Trust it. Lean into it. Continue to dwell in the knowing that you are the one who called this forth, not by accident, not by chance, but by the quiet, powerful movement of your own mind. Your reality is not determined by chance, effort, or even circumstance. It is shaped entirely by what you assume to be true about yourself and your life. Every assumption you hold settles quietly into the soil of your subconscious mind, and from there it grows. It is invisible at first. There are no fireworks, no dramatic signs. But in time, the outer world begins to reflect what has been accepted within. This is why your assumptions matter more than your intentions, more than your plans, and far more than your current conditions. You are always becoming what you assume, not what you hope, not what you wish, but what you accept as real right now. If you assume poverty, limitation, or delay, if you carry the quiet belief that wealth is always just out of reach, then life will obey. It has no choice. The outer world is nothing more than your inner world pushed out. But the moment you shift your assumption, everything begins to change. Not because the world has changed first, but because you did. Assume you are rich. Not someday, not when everything looks right, but now. That is the secret. Step into the feeling of it before it makes sense. Walk through the world as though you have already received all that you desire. This is not delusion, this is creation. Life does not respond to desperation, it responds to certainty. When you embody the state of wealth inwardly, the outer world has no choice but to mirror it back to you. Too many people wait for proof before they believe. They wait to see a change before they allow themselves to feel changed. But this is backward. The evidence comes after the assumption, never before. You are the cause, reality is the effect. To become rich, you must first accept that it is already so, not in arrogance, but in quiet confidence. You are not asking life for riches. You are assuming your place as one who already possesses them. Your assumptions are not passive ideas. They are powerful forces. They shape your tone, your choices, your posture, your energy. You do not have to fight the world. You only have to change your internal stance. Walk differently, think differently. Speak from the version of you that already has everything. Let the feeling of abundance color every moment. When doubts arise, return to your assumption. Refuse to negotiate with fear. Stand firm in the truth you have chosen. The moment you assume something new, reality begins its reorganization. It may not happen instantly, but it must happen inevitably. Your assumption is the command, the world bends in response. You are not waiting for a miracle, you are the miracle, awakening to your power to transform everything simply by assuming a different state of being. You are always becoming what you assume. So assume wisely, assume richly. Assume now. Imagination is not a fantasy. It is not mere daydreaming. It is the creative workshop of your inner world, the sacred ground where every future begins. What you hold persistently in your imagination becomes the blueprint of your life. It is through imagination that the invisible becomes visible. When you imagine yourself as rich, not once, not casually, but consistently and with feeling, you are planting the seed of wealth. And just as surely as a seed produces fruit after its kind, that inner image must bear its outer result. This is law, silent, unfailing, and impersonal. You do not need to struggle to become wealthy. You need only to see it clearly in your mind and persist in that vision. Everything in the outer world is an echo of an inner image. The conditions of your life are not accidents. They are mirrors. If you have lived in limitation, it is because your inner eye was focused there. Change what you see within, and the world will follow, not immediately, not always dramatically at first, but inevitably. The great mistake is thinking imagination is just pretend. Yet everything that has ever been created, every building, every invention, every fortune, first existed as a thought, a picture in someone's mind. The difference is some hold onto that picture long enough for reality to catch up. Wealth too must begin as an image. If you cannot see yourself rich in the mind, you will not see it in your world. The seed must be planted before the harvest arrives. This means you must live in the end result now, not tomorrow, not when circumstances are perfect, but today, as you are. Close your eyes and feel it, the freedom, the ease, the power of having more than enough. Let that vision become your dwelling place. Visit it not once, but repeatedly, with confidence, with joy. The more real it becomes to you inside, the more real it must become outside. There is no effort in this. You do not need to manipulate people, chase opportunities, or exhaust yourself trying to make it happen. Imagination is effortless when you trust it. When you return to your vision each day, you are watering the seed. And just as the sun knows how to rise, just as the seasons know how to change, the life within that image knows how to express itself. Do not ask how it will come. That is not your role. Your work is to imagine and to feel as though it already is. Let the picture of wealth take root in you. Let it shape your choices, your emotions, your decisions. And when doubt knocks, return again to that inner vision. Stay faithful to it, and it will be faithful to you. What you imagine persistently, you inevitably experience. It cannot fail. You are the creator. You are the cause. Wealth is not something you chase. It is something you allow by holding the right picture long enough, deep enough, and true enough within. What you see around you now, your finances, your environment, your relationships, is nothing but the echo of past states of consciousness. It is the shadow of yesterday's thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. It is not who you are today. Your current circumstances are old news. They are stale reflections of what you once accepted as true. And so there is no use in fighting them. There is no need to wrestle with appearances. You do not correct a mirror by adjusting the reflection, you change what stands before it. Likewise, you do not transform your life by resisting what is. You rise above it by assuming a new inner state. The mistake so many make is giving power to what they see. They believe the outer world holds the authority, when in truth it is the follower. It is always one step behind your inner world. By the time something has materialized, it is already old. The cause has long been set in motion. So if your present reality does not please you, if you see lack, limitation, struggle, understand this. It is not permanent. It is not truth. It is simply the residue of past assumptions. Do not be discouraged. This is freedom. For if what you see is the result of what you once believed, then a new belief, a new assumption will produce something entirely different. You do not need to fix what's broken. You only need to turn your attention inward and begin again. Choose a new identity, a new feeling, a new state, and live in that. Feel the wealth now, even if your bank account argues against it. Feel the ease, even if bills surround you. Feel the freedom, even if the world says you must wait. These feelings are not delusion. They are seeds. And if you plant them with faith and persistence, the outer world will have no choice but to mirror your new state. This is how reality bends. Let go of the urge to explain or justify your current situation. You owe no one a story about your past. You do not need to rehearse what went wrong. You only need to assume the feeling of what is right and make it your dwelling place. Speak from the new state. Walk from it. Think from it. And most of all, feel from it. That feeling is the creative power. It is the command to your subconscious mind. And your subconscious is always listening. You must become blind to what no longer serves you, not by denial, but by higher awareness. Yes, the world may still show signs of yesterday's fears and doubts, but you are not living from them anymore. You have stepped into a new identity, and now you let the world catch up. What you are seeing now is not the end. It is not even real in the truest sense. It is simply a mirror of the self you used to be. So bless it, release it, and replace it. The moment you feel wealth in your soul, everything around you begins to shift. Quietly, faithfully, powerfully, your new world is already forming. There is a hidden law that governs all creation, one so simple and profound that most overlook it. Feeling is the currency of the spiritual world. Not effort, not struggle, not desperate hope, but feeling. The feeling of already having, already being, already living in the fulfillment of your desire is what brings it into form. To wish is to separate yourself from it. To feel it as real is to become one with it, and only in that unity can the invisible become visible. You are not poor because you lack money. You are poor when you dwell in the feeling of lack. You are not rich because you possess things. You are rich when you feel the wealth inside you long before it ever shows up in the bank or the world. This is not a game of pretending or forcing. This is the sacred art of assumption. You assume the state by entering into its feeling. You wear it in your soul. You walk in it mentally until it becomes natural. And then, as surely as the sun rises, the outer world reflects your inner state. You cannot trick this law. You cannot merely speak wealth with your lips while feeling poverty in your heart. Life listens to what you feel, not what you say. That is why so many speak abundance yet live in lack, because their emotions betray their declarations. Words are powerless without the feeling to back them. But the moment you align your inner state, when your feeling matches your desire, reality moves. This feeling is not something you generate once and forget. It is something you return to, something you nurture. It becomes your dwelling place. You feel it when you wake. You feel it as you move through the world. You feel it not because of what you see, but because of what you know to be real in the unseen. This is the secret. You must walk by inner vision, not outer evidence. You must trust the world of feeling before the world of form. When you feel yourself to be wealthy, not someday, but now, the spiritual world accepts that as your truth. The energy you send out is clear, unwavering, magnetic. Opportunities arise, circumstances bend, not because you chased them, but because they were called by your state. Your feeling became the invitation. So you must guard your inner world. Refuse to dwell in fear, doubt, or lack. Those emotions are expensive. They cost you your creation. Instead, spend the currency of faith. Invest in the feeling of freedom, ease, abundance. Let wealth become your atmosphere, your tone, your rhythm. Walk in rooms as though you belong to the life you seek. Speak as one who already has. Move as one who needs nothing. For the moment you feel rich, you are. The world will not believe you until you believe yourself. It will not show you wealth until you feel it within. But when you do, when you walk in the state of already being it, life cannot help but reflect it. This is not theory, this is law. And feeling is the currency that pays for everything. The great secret of all creation lies not in sudden effort or fleeting moments of clarity, but in quiet, determined persistence. It is not enough to imagine once. It is not enough to feel rich one morning and then retreat into doubt by afternoon. Creation bows to the one who remains, to the one who dwells in the vision long enough for it to become flesh. This is the difference between the one who receives and the one who does not. Persistence, not talent, not intellect, not luck. only the refusal to let go of the inner state. Your desire is a living thing. And just like any living thing, it must be nourished, fed daily by attention, emotion, and belief. When you hold to your vision of wealth, when you refuse to allow the world to distract you or discourage you, you water the seed. And every seed, faithfully tended, must break through the soil. It is not your job to know when, it is your job to not stop believing. Most people fail not because the vision was wrong, but because they gave up too soon. They let the outer world convince them it wasn't working. They saw no evidence and they surrendered. But the unseen world is always responding, even in silence. Even when nothing seems to be moving, everything is shifting behind the curtain. Delay is not denial, it is preparation. It is the stretching of time so your world can bend to match your new state. So, persist, not with force, not with frustration, but with quiet inner knowing. Revisit the vision not because you are trying to make it happen, but because it is already yours. Rehearse the feeling of wealth until it becomes as familiar as breathing. Let it become your emotional home. This persistence is not rigid, it is soft and steady. It is not desperate, it is confident. You are not holding on in fear, but resting in faith. Every time you return to your vision, every time you feel the richness of your imagined world, you reinforce the new reality. You carve it deeper into your subconscious mind. You teach your body, your thoughts, your emotions to live from the state of already having, and when the feeling becomes natural, the manifestation becomes inevitable. You cannot fail. Persistence does not mean ignoring facts. It means reassigning meaning to them. If you see lack, persist in the truth of wealth. If you hear doubt, persist in the truth of certainty. Let the world say what it will, you answer only to the vision within. And in time, the world will echo your persistence with form and substance. You do not need to beg, force, or chase. You need only to remain loyal to your assumption. Do not ask, when will it come? Declare instead, it is done. You have planted the seed, and through your steady inner attention, you bring it to harvest. This is the quiet power of those who succeed. They do not drop the vision. They nourish it. They dwell in it. And because of that, they receive. And so, you were not brought here by chance. You were called by your own inner power, the silent knowing that there is more for you, not in some far-off future, but here, now, in this very moment. Everything you desire, wealth, ease, abundance, is not separate from you, it is within you, waiting to be assumed, felt, and lived. You must remember, it is not the world that shapes you, but your inner state that shapes the world. What you feel becomes what you live. What you persist in becomes what you receive. There is no need to struggle, no need to chase. Walk in the feeling of already being rich and watch as the world mirrors it back to you. The signs have already begun. You are no longer the one who hopes, you are the one who knows. And in that knowing, the universe responds. Thank you for allowing these words to reach the deepest part of you. Thank you for choosing to believe in your own power. Stay faithful to the vision, feel it real, and never forget, it's already yours.